Okie dokie. All right. And so today it's a good day. It's always a good day. Hello, Kathleen. Hello, Isaac. Thank you, Carla, for turning your computer on. Your camera on. Jesse, Keslev, turn your cameras on, please. Isaac.
Teacher, I'm having problems with my connection, so.
O sea que es más importante tu conexión que tener tu cámara. Ok, está bien, Jesse.
No, es que si la pongo se empieza como a trabar.
All right, that's okay. This is a very short topic, and then we do the practice, some of the practice exams, exercises for the exam, okay? By the way, the last week, Alejandro was given the class. Remember, Alejandro? Was it good? Was it okay? I'm training him to be a teacher's trainer. You're the first one. You're the guinea pigs. So, was it good? Yeah, understandable and everything? All right, cool. Okie dokie then. Okay, so can you see my screen? Not if you see it. Good. As you know, it's been broadcasted in YouTube because it has to be recorded, so you can see it later on. Okay. So this is a short topic, but it's one of the cocos for the English classes and English teachers, sorry, because the English teachers, for some reason, I don't know if you've seen them, or maybe Kieslev, for example, that is a student, still a student. You have, it's a very interesting phenomena. You have a teacher, or excuse me, a group, let's say Segundo B, and they are chaos. They are, they always jumping around and they're always misbehaving. Y tú así como que Dios ya llévame Diosito, ya trágame tierra. Y entonces you finish the class y el math teacher walks into the classroom and you can tell the Segundo B, everybody's sitting, everybody paying attention, everybody quiet. And you're like, what? Y todavía te metes en depresión, tu self-esteem, ya mejor me mato, me tiro por la ventana, blah, 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 and then different problems, no? So it does happen, I know Hepsi have seen it. Maybe it happened to you. It happened to me. It happened to me, and this is interesting. I was teaching secundaria many years ago, and I'm still in therapy, actually. And I had English 7 to 8. Y luego, for some reason, the school gave me a Spanish class. Spanish de así como materia, lengua y comunicación se llamaba. So 7 to 8 English, and then 8 to 9 Spanish. Same group. 7 to 8 chaotic, 8 to 9 everybody was quiet. So like, it can't be me, you know. Anyways, there is a theory about that, but we'll discuss it during this topic. So far, so good. Okay. So this is a picture of Carla. I promise it's going to be you, Carla, at some point of your life, of your teaching career. And it says, keeping our students focused and interested in the class, as well as maintaining good pace in a given lesson, can be difficult. Yes or no? Yeah, yes, it's difficult. It takes one element to knock a flowing lesson out of control, especially if you're teaching with teenagers. ¿No? You are given a very cool class y de repente alguien habla o alguien estornuda. Ya se acordó de ti. Híjole, ya, and then your class, everybody's talking, everybody's mumbling, and your class is ruined. Right? See, I see your face, Kislev. You're one of those. Oh my God. Jeez, you're the terror for teachers, right? Yes, I can see your face. Oh my God. Anyways, I was one of those. So, losing, can you continue reading? Hepsi.
Losing class control typically happens because something in the lesson plan doesn't speak to the students. Some areas of the classroom management plan need reinforcing.
Good. So in other words, you have a class, you have a lesson plan, and for some reason you repeated the lesson plan. ¿Ha pasado? Miss, ya lo vimos. Miss, pero ya lo acabamos de ver. So you have to do something, because if you do the class again, what will happen? There's going to be chaos and anarchy, and your class is ruined, right? Now, I want you to go down, and the last sentence, it says, teacher's preparation influences 80% in discipline. Let me repeat again. Teacher's preparation influences 80% in discipline. O sea, say that 80% of the discipline or indiscipline in your classroom is your fault. It's preparations teacher, or excuse me, teacher's preparation. And then the other 20% are things that are not in your control. The other, let's say, out of the 100%, 80% is your fault. 10% is institution's problem. And then we can talk about many things about the institution. For example, who is currently teaching a class right after recess? No? Have you given a class right after recess? How they are, is the Jesse?
Well, my students usually are crazy and sweating, and they have a lot of energy, but they don't want to work. They don't want to work.
Because smelly, sweaty, smelly, all popped up in sugar. That's why they have energy, because they ate sugar. And so having a class at that time is chaotic. Or for example, who has taught in a private, let's say the so-called fresa schools such as Tec de Monterrey, or los Kipling, or los legionarios. Y Carla dice, o sea, yo voy a esos. Okay, Carla, it's okay. I know you do. But in those schools, you don't have the institution support, you know that. O sea, tipo los chavos y de yo te pago, profesor. O sea, por mí comes. Very, very sad. So it's 10% is out of your hand. The other 10% is also out of your hand, because there are situations with some students that has some sort of disorder. For example, hyperactiveness. O sea, no que sean activos, eh? I'm talking about real diagnosed hyperactiveness. If you have one or two, my condolences. You just can't do anything about it. Okay, it's you're not a psychologist, you're not a psychiatrist. So it's first of all, they shouldn't be in your classroom. But you know, we go into the business part and well, okay. Or if you have a student with TD, let's call it TDH, TD. ¿Cómo es Hepsi?
TDAH.
For the attention deficit, something, right?
Yes.
That's the same thing. I mean, you just can't do anything. They need medication. They need professional aid. And I'm not saying that you're not professional. They need some specific professional aid. Okay, so 20% of the discipline is out of your head, but you can control 20%, 80% because of your actions, your preparation. Gabi, you want to say something?
Yes, teacher. It's very sad because the teacher needs material very, very expensive. For example, to learn, to teach in the preparatoria, in my daughter's preparatoria, they need the third edition solution, elementary students book, Oxford.
And it's like 2,000 pesos, no?
Yes, of course, it's very expensive.
And you know what? You know what the worst part is, Gabi? They hardly ever use it. They don't finish the book.
Exactly. And the teacher told me, you can give me the money in módicas
Small payments.
mensualidades. And it's very sad. I don't know what can I do for this situation. And in another, I want to ask you if you have this book, teacher.
Maybe, I don't know. You later after the class, you tell me, or you send me a WhatsApp.
Okay.
Because I do have a lot of books. I don't know if I have it. I mean.
Okay. Thanks a lot, teacher.
No problem. So 80% is your preparation. And by preparation, I mean the lesson plan, all the resources, and so forth. But still, we're going to talk about some of the techniques that you can do to gain control of your class. Okay? Annie, let me move my over here. There you go. Annie.
Yes.
Techniques to gain and maintain classroom control, your reputation for effort, flexibility, and availability. Read the first point, Annie.
Yes. Learn your students' names.
Why is this important, Carla?
To have all the students be more active in the class, to be more like personal, to be more friendly maybe with them.
How would you feel if I say, a ver, tú, Hepsi's friend?
No, I will be sad.
Oh, no, sad. Así de teacher, mother, son of a, you know? Gabi?
Thanks, teacher. The students need to feel that they are important to us.
Exactly.
That's why.
Thank you. If you don't know, if you don't address them with name, that means that they are not important to you, and they feel it. So you develop a bunch of other things like me trae tirria el maestro, la Miss ahora va a verla conmigo, ahora que llegue el recreo, blah, 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 blah. So start by that. Learn your students' names. Now, And for example, my school is difficult. Carla knows it because she teaches for me. And it's difficult because they're all different students, every class. So you need to develop some somewhat strategy, or that's why we have mandatory that the students must have the name, no, in their cameras, and you have to address them by names. But if you're teaching in a school that you have 1 or 2 or maybe 5 groups steady that they don't change, learn the names. It's very important. Okay. Number 2 is the Jessie.
Be punctual.
Don't be like teacher Gerson. Be on time, especially if you're teaching teenagers. If your class is at 10 and you arrive 10:10, your class is ruined. Really, they just go crazy. They go anarchy. Number 3, Hefsi. Oh, Hefsi is watching porn. Number 3, Kieslev.
Show up after hours to encourage them, but avoid one-on-one sessions.
Very good. So you can have, let me put it this way. Your students need to feel that you are approachable. You understand that word? Approachable. That means that they feel confident enough to ask you questions. Whatever you do, make them feel that way. For example, I always tell them, a ver, guys, I know I look like Shrek, but I'm not an ogre. Yeah, everybody laughs, and so they feel comfortable enough to talk to me. Avoid one-to-one sessions. Why? Why is it important not to have private sessions with your students, Isaac? Y Isaac es like, bueno, depende, pues está así acá, pues bueno, pues le damos chance. No, Isaac, no. Tell me, why is it important?
¿Me puedes repetir para poder formularla en mi cabeza la respuesta? La pregunta.
Why is it important not to have one-to-one sessions with your students? Okay, private sessions with your students.
Well, because they're gonna feel better, I think.
It's going to be weird, first of all.
Well.
Secondly, you may develop the famous teacher's pet. Don't do that. Y ya nos vamos a otras cuestiones éticas que we don't have time to do it. Okay, number 4. Number 4, Kathleen.
Back up planning in case your visual aids break.
Very good. This is very important. You prepare, especially in Zoom, especially in online classes. You prepare your class very cool. Your PPP presentation. Yes.
Yeah. You can see me in the camera.
No. Oh yes. Now I can see you. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, now I can see you. Yes. Thank you, Kathleen. This is very important. You prepare a presentation, and your computer doesn't turn on. So you have to have some sort of backup plan. If you do free class, what happens, Jesse?
If I have free class, they get bored, and well, we spend time.
And chaos and energy.
Yes.
And if you try to improvise, Kislev, así de chin, ya no prendió mi computadora. Ahorita vemos qué les doy. What will happen, Kislev?
Not gonna be the same because you're not prepared for it.
What would happen, Kislev? You're a student still. If you see a teacher that is improvising, you can tell, a student can tell, always can tell. How do you feel? What do you think about it?
I'll go to a Zoom meeting.
Right, exactly. You're not you would not pay attention. You not have respect for it, and so forth. Very good. Finally, the last point is the Susana. Oh no, you're listening only. Annie.
Yes. Involve your students in the decision-making process. Encourage them to speak out whenever you notice some sort of strange behavior, such as watching at the clock all the time or showing burnt face.
Good. If it's possible, and if it's reasonable, if you have, let's say for everybody's watching their watches, you may ask, hey, is everything okay? You need to do something? A ver, estás atorando ahí, ven por acá. There you go. So, for example, Jesse, have you given a class before spelling bee? Jesse?
Oh, me? Okay.
Yes.
Before what?
Spelling bee.
No.
You haven't given any class before spelling bee?
I think no.
Okay. You work in a school, right? You're the principal in a school.
Yes.
You have kermeses or some sort of activities like that? No, pobres chavos, neta. No seas gacha, Jepsi.
No, because I start my business when the pandemic start too. So I can do that right now.
Well, everybody is everybody familiar with the kermeses, no? The party and the okay. If you have a class before the kermes, how your students be? Patient? Willing to learn? Yes, Miss Carla, please illuminate us. No. They just want to go out, period. If you have something like that, there's nothing wrong to better stop the class and leave. As much as you can, of course, it depends on the institution. But otherwise, they're just not gonna pay attention to you. All right? Number 2, reputation for fairness and fairness. Number 1, Annie.
Explain why you asked the class to the various things.
Yeah. Okay, guys, open your books on page 5. Porque yo digo. Would that be okay?
Esto es lo que encontré.
No, ¿verdad? Okay, guys, open your books on page 5 because we need to practice the verbs. What is the difference there? ¿Qué es left?
Well, they're gonna know the reason why they're gonna do something.
And you as a student, which one makes you feel better?
When teacher gives me the reason.
Exactly. So no need cátedra, eh? No need a justification of what you're doing. A small reason, because that makes them feel important to you. All right, number 2, Hepsi, can you read it, please?
When there's something unacceptable about the classroom, don't tolerate it.
If you have a policy, no eating in the classroom, excuse me, no eating in the classroom, and somebody eats, what would you do, Hepsi?
I have to correct him because if I don't, in the next class, everybody will be eating.
Good. Now, what if Hepsi is really hungry? I mean, she's like a punto de comerse el primero que le atraviese. She's starving. Would you eat, Hepsi? Oh my Lord, you're thinking about it. Jeez. Lord baby Jesus.
No.
What? Can you
No,
repeat
I
because
won't.
your connection was bad. Can you repeat?
Yes, my connection is very bad. And no, I won't. I have to give the example to the students.
Oh my Lord, Hepsi. I was scared for a moment. You thought about it. But yes, the answer is no. You shouldn't be eating. Okay? So that's what it means. If you have some sort of policy, enforce it. Don't tolerate it. Okay, number 3. Let's go faster. Let's see, Carla.
Yes, try to keep as relaxed a classroom atmosphere as possible.
Read the subtitle. I mean the yes, the next one.
Foster free communication without being disruptive.
How do you foster or how do you keep relaxed the atmosphere? And relax, I don't mean slackering or doing nothing. Relax is not being a stress. How do you promote relaxed atmosphere in your classroom? Kelsey?
For example, for me, because my students are kids. Well, for example, right now, in this week, I start a class with 8 to 12 years old, 2 kids. So in this case, I put videos or games, and they will be more relaxed.
Okay, so you do activities that are interesting to them. Okay. Let me give you the example, and I give you rule number 1 for keeping your classroom atmosphere relaxed. Kislev, what would happen if you see me join? You understand that?
If I say what?
Join.
Oh.
What would happen?
You as a teacher or as a student?
No, a person. We're talking, having a conversation, and I, or not even having a conversation. You see me. What would you do? What is your reaction? What happens when a person sees another person join?
They're the same.
Exactly, they copy. Rule number 1 to foster or to promote relaxed atmosphere is you need to be relaxed. That's number 1. The students can tell. Y se me hace que la maestra se tronó con su novio. y dicen otras cosas más fuertes, pero no voy a decirlas aquí. Hay puras niñas en Isaac. So students can tell. So if you walk into a classroom in a bad mood, what happens to your students? The same. It's going to be contagious. So you need to walk into your classroom or into your class with no problems in your mind. Y Jessie así como Kiko, busque chiste. It is difficult, teachers. It is really, really difficult. But it's not impossible, you know? Not impossible. You need to train your mind that before walking to the classroom, you need to take off your problems. Que si la luz, que si mi chavito, que si el novio, el otro, el marido, lo que sea. Forget about it. Okay, that's draw number one. Gabi.
Teacher, we can't do it, but we need to be mature, very mature.
It has to do, yes, very mature, and it has to do with, are you familiar with the term inteligencia emocional?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can Google it. I have the book. ¿Quieren que se los envíe por PDF? Sí,
Of
se los
course,
envío al
please.
chat.
Yes, please.
Especially chapter 2. And it talks about how to control your emotions. It's pretty cool. It's actually, it wasn't meant for teachers, but it's the same principle in anywhere, right? So the one that controls the emotions, it's successful. Dice el dicho, Annie, que el que se enoja.
Lost.
Very good. So don't do that, right? Control your emotions. Now, last point is Kathleen, you're here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, last point, please. Recognize
Recognize good behavior and effort. Avoid sarcasm, shouting, or comparing.
Very good, Kathleen. Recognize good behavior. Very good. Nice effort. Avoid sarcasm. ¿Cómo sería sarcasm? Pepsi, qué bueno que entraste, porque, oh, qué milagro, Dios mío. That is sarcastic, ¿no? O el clásico, Carla, ¿por qué no eres como tu hermana del tercero B, hombre, chihuahuas?
Yes, I think we never compare the persons.
Yes, because it actually affects the other people. Comparing, shouting, sarcasm, even though you want to do it, don't do it, for real. Okay, so far so good? Am I going too fast or too slow? It's okay? Okay, your knowledge of the context. Isaac, first point.
Your students will notice this on the basis of your ability to answer the questions.
Very good. Pause there. Teachers, if you don't master a class, don't teach it. I'll give you an example. I was in 1 year, many years ago, Tec de Monterrey tiene un programa que se llama Avicultura, lo tenía, no existió. So the students that have the highest level and above, los ponían ahí. Y entonces me dijeron, profesor Gerson, ¿puede darlo? ¿Puede dar el programa avicultural que se habla? Y yo así de, yo me almuerzo el programa avicultural, hombre, por Dios, of course. Teachers, worst year of my life. I had 2 Koreans, 1 American, 1 British, and 2 Mexicans. Worst, it's not even English class, it's literature. Ya sabes, ¿no? Outdoors and books and worst year of my life. I mean, y luego para colmo al siguiente año me lo vieron a dar. But anyways, so if you don't master something, don't do it. Prepare yourself before giving a class. Okay, how you handle the questions? If one student asks, continue reading, Jessie.
If one student asks, many students are wondering, so don't leave questions for the end.
Juanito Pérez is like, Miss, ¿y me puede explicar? Y tú así de, oye, cállate, por favor. No sé. Don't do that. I mean, if you know the answer, answer it. If you don't know the answer, Don't invent it. Just say, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with that. You do a research and then answer it. It happened to me last Thursday. I'm giving a grammar workshop en a school presencial. Y era una oración de encontrar el error. No supe. All the answers were the same. Y los chavos que son maestros me dijeron, profe, no lo entendemos. Y yo sí, yo tampoco. Let me do the research and I'll let you know next week. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Actually, they respect you more if you're honest. Okay. Request for clarifications. Invite the students, continue reading. Hepsi.
Invite students to give it a try first in case the question seems too basic for the level.
Yeah, means, es que como se dice I am o I was, o cómo. A ver, Juanito, let's talk about it. Who wants to help me? Yeah, you ask them, no? Off-topic questions. Juanito Pérez alza la mano. Miss, es que yo ayer en The Big Bang Theory, I listened to Sheldon and blah, 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 blah. What would you do? He is left. Read the last 2 points.
Provide that one?
Yes, please.
Okay. Provide a brief answer depending on the situation. Don't be afraid of responding your colleagues in case you don't know the answer.
Of course. Teacher Gerson, me preguntaron esto, ¿qué es? Yo te voy a decir no sé, but I'll help you to find out, okay? Very good. Keeping the students focused and wanting to learn. Carla, first point.
The teacher must be able to explain the content clearly.
Very good. Preparation. Number 2, Jessica.
For adult learners, we use words such as why, because, and you.
Very good. The magic words, right? Number 3, Annie.
Involve your students in the topic. Avoid repeating only what the textbook says.
Ask questions. Example, what is, who has been, etc. 4, Gabi.
Thanks. Bring students to the front of the room whenever you have a chance.
Very good. Kathleen, next one.
If you have a highly capable student who attempts to dominate the classroom, invite him to be your assistant for the day.
Excellent. You're always going to have one of those. Me, teacher, me, pick me. You ask the question, yo, miss, aquí, miss. And they usually know the answer. That's the worst part. They actually are, they do. I mean, they know the answer. So keep them busy, teachers. A ver, Juanito Pérez. Puesto que estás muy hacendoso el día de hoy, and assign a job, like check your students' classroom or notebooks, check your students' activities. I don't know, something very stupid if you want to. But if you keep them busy, what happens, Carla, to those students? What happens?
If I keep busy the student that is constantly participating?
Yes. Espérate, paréntesis, enséñame tu bebé.
Es que está muy gordo.
Es que yo soy a pop maniac. I'm a poop mania. I have a shirt with a big pock.
Ay.
¿Cómo se llama?
Jack. Se
Jack?
llama Jack.
Jack.
Ah.
¿Cuántos años tiene?
Tiene 7.
Ah, todavía mira, te presento a tu novio. Un ratito más y te lo presento.
Qué bonitos.
Thank you. Go ahead, Carla.
Well, the student be busy doing the activity, so.
Very good. Excellent. So, if the student is busy, pues ya se le va a olvidar el me, teacher, me, miss. That is really annoying. I'm sorry to say that, but it's really annoying. Next one. The last one, perdón, Kathleen.
Your exam questions and your handout style agrees with your lectures. Students will pay more attention in class.
Very good. The magic expression. Guys, pay attention because it's going to be in the exam. What happens to your students? All seated, quiet, paying attention. Hasta dices, no, hombre, ni rompen una taza estos canijos. Sí es, Gaby.
Thanks, teacher. They are paying attention to us.
Very good. Jessie.
Back to the second one, I have a doubt.
Yes.
With the for adults learner, we use words such as why, because, and you. What does that mean, teacher, please?
It means, for example, it has to do with the type of students. If you have a student that is an adult, and adults tend to be, I don't know if you have teaching, if you taught adults tend to be a little bit more picky, is the word, no? So if you ask them to do something without the magic words, they tend to get offended. Very stupidly, I know, but they tend to be like, oh, es bien sangrona la miss. But instead, if you use the magic words, why, or because, and you please, and so forth, it will soften your class. Unlike children, that you're supposed to do why and because of thank you, but children, you can be a little bit more commanding, more mandatory. Yes, Jessie? Yeah, did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Okay, cool. Is there any other question? No? Okay. Now, what if there's challenges to your authority? Read point number 1, Hefsi.
You handle challenge by making the challenger appear silly in front of her peers.
Very interesting. Así de que es leves, ¿no? Así no es. Así no es, teacher. Así no es, miss. So I will say, a ver, Kislev, I know you are a brilliant student. Please illuminate me and illuminate the classroom and tell us how it is. What would happen, Kislev?
Well, if he or she didn't know the answer or was just, just for being mad with the teacher, you're gonna be ashamed and want the again. Very
good. They normally shut up at that point. Now, if you have a prodigy student, that's a whole different story. But that's okay. If you have a prodigy student, you understand prodigy? a very, very highly, very intelligent student, that's okay. That's a whole different story. But normally, a student that is only picking and challenging you, they're not. They just want to, they just want to, bug you. All right. Number 2, Jessie.
Anticipate the questions and complaint.
Very good. And again, preparation. Ay, si digo esto, ya escucho a Jessica que va a decir esto. Bueno, I'm going to change it, no? Or I will have the questions already prepared. Good. Number 3, Kathleen, yes.
If the students point out that your lecture is redundant, have a second lesson plan in reserve if it is reasonable.
Very good. Again, if you have already given the class, Miss, pero es que ya la acaba de dar. Don't do it again. That's what it means. And number 4, ¿qué es left?
If a student is persistently noisy, point out that most of his classmates want to learn and he's interfering with this.
Así de, okay, ¿qué es left? Let's move on. Okay. What about hecklers? What are these hecklers? Who are those? No, Carla. Who are those? Point number 1.
At the adult level, these are people who have chosen to believe lies that make them feel morally and intellectually superior.
Very good. Have you seen the movie School of Rock? With Joe Black, yes, that's a cool movie. If you can watch it, you are the man. So they feel that they need to fight the system. There are some people that are like that. They feel that they know it all. Así tipo chilango, no? I'm sorry. Well, I'm chilango. I can do that. I can say that. Number 2, Annie.
Yes, the heckler's strategy will be not portray you as a radical right, radical left, or a just-minded, scientific, dogmatist, ignorant of new data, or maybe a malicious oppressor of the human race.
There are people like that. Así de Isaac, no, es que tú no conoces a Isaac. Yo he vivido, yo he viajado. ¿A poco chavos así? No, lo que pasa es que el año pasado que fuimos a Estados Unidos, yo sí lo vi, maestro. Y tú así de, and they feel that they're superior to you. What can we do with those? Number 1, Isaac.
As much as you can, try to act sympathetic rather than angry.
Good. In other words, el que se enoja, pierde. Así de sencillo. That's what they want. They want to get you on your nerves. Don't give them that. I mean, they're not important enough in the sense of having your emotions being affected. Okay? Así de, No, don't do that. Number 2, Carla.
Ask the heckler, why do you believe that?
Es que no, Carla, así no es. O sea, cuando yo fui a London, yo vi, y Carla dice que, bueno, a ver, why do you say that? Tell us your experience, illuminate us, please. Number 3, Hepsi.
Ask the other students, did I say that?
Very good. You make a mistake. You're going to make mistakes. It's normal. Así no es, maestro. se equivocó, se pronuncia así. Y Jeff saying, did I say that, really? Okay, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Tan tan. And you neuralized the attack. 4, he has left.
Say to the
You're going
heckler,
to like this, Keslev. Read it.
I appreciate and share your concern about. However, what I was actually trying to say was, and I'm sorry you were not able to understand that.
So very politely saying you're stupid. Oh, I'm sorry you felt that way, but that's what I mean. I love it. Next one is Isaac.
Say to the heckler, I appraised and shared your concern about. However, what I was actually trying to say was,
No, Keslev just read that one.
okay. Make the user, ¿cómo se pronuncia eso?
Issue.
Issue raised and interest group subject. Will somebody find out about?
No, maestro, así no es. Así es. Como yo le digo, así es. And you know that is not true. Okay, why don't we give it as a homework? Everybody investigate about that and then you let me know tomorrow. Guess what? Your heckler will stop bugging you because it's going to be ashamed and humiliated. And finally, the last point, Carla.
When the heckler falls back on radical skepticism, you actually believe in DNA? Or the rest of the class is obviously hostile to the heckler, it's time to ask the rest of the class, shall we move on? They will be grateful.
This happened to me. I was given a conversation club, an advanced class, and we were talking about illness and sicknesses, okay? And we were talking about HIV. You understand HIV? Yes, that sickness, the SIDA. Okay, well, so we were discussing blah blah blah, and then we had Juanito Perez that it was really annoying, y dijo una guarrada así de, no, profesor, es que el SIDA, the AIDS, is an invention for the men, and it's synthetic. The virus is synthetic. It's almost like a robot. How do you answer that? I mean, besides shut up, stupid, I couldn't think of another answer, you know? So, and everybody's like, ay, Juanito Perez, ya cállate. So then that moment is very like, okay, why don't we move on? Yes, so don't engage, but don't give it the importance either.
Mostrando imágenes que coinciden.
Sorry, my phone needs my cell phone needs a priest. Okay. Very good. Questions? So far, did you find useful these practical suggestions? Good. Use them in your classrooms. Okay, now. You want to take a pee break because we come back and do the exams? Or, well, it's not exam per se, it's a practice exam. Yes? Okay, so it's 11:15, so we meet you here at 11:30. All right, so I'll see you here at 11:30. All right, I'm leaving the session open and see you around.
Yes, thanks, teacher.
Thank you. Ready? Good, excellent. Mhm. Let's give a minute. Good, excellent. Let me make the rules. Okay. So I send you over the WhatsApp couple of images. Let me see. On the stuff future here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages, and then a PDF on a TKT glossary. That is not an exam. That's part of for you to have for reading material. Okay. So on page 40, we have discovery activities. Ignore that. Don't do the discovery activities, okay? Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. Annie and Gabby. FC. Giselle and Susana. Wait. Oh, okay, yeah. Thank God. If you could move to their with your partner. Abby.